Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today. Students, we will do a lesson again in standard 7th, and the subject will be English. Now, do you remember last time when we started a lesson in English? I told you that we will be continuing it next time. And also when we started that lesson, we talked about this particular image and we discussed whether we are doing a lesson in science or will it be a lesson in English. And we decided later that no, we will still be doing a lesson in English, but this lesson is closely connected to science. And the name of the lesson is Great Scientists. So today, as promised earlier, we will do the second part of this lesson. That is, we will do whatever exercises are remaining to be done in our textbook. So let us recollect first what we learnt last time, and then we will move on and we will see what has to be done today in this particular video. So last time we talked about this very famous, you can say, scientist called Michael Faraday. We learned that he was from a very poor family and he belonged to a poverty-stricken neighborhood in London. We also saw how he struggled with his life when he was in school. He had some kind of speech disability, and because of which the children in school used to make fun of him. His teachers also did not support him, and finally his mother had to withdraw him from school. That is, she had to see to it that his name was removed from the rolls in the school. We also went on to see his life story, where he went on to work with another very famous scientist who also made life very difficult for Michael. Okay, so let us quickly see what Michael's achievements as a scientist was. So we saw that he discovered the electromagnetic induction, which in turn led to the discovery of electricity. Okay, and like I just told you, he had been to school for a very small or brief period of time. He was interested in studying, of course, but the situation was such that he could not continue with his studies. Okay, the children in his class and the children who were studying with him, the other students in his school used to ridicule him, used to make fun of him. Okay, and we also saw that he was one of the greatest scientists of all times. And he became a very famous person, but he still remained very humble as far as his behavior was concerned. He declined to accept knighthood. That is, the British government, they wanted to confer knighthood upon him, which is like a very important title which can be given to a person. But Michael Faraday, he refused to accept this knighthood. And he remained childlike even towards the end of his life. He used to give Christmas lectures for children. For small children, he used to gather them and he used to teach them some kind of things during Christmas. So that was about the great scientist that we studied, that is Michael Faraday. Now, like I told you children, in this part of the lesson, we will look at some things which are remaining to be done. Okay, the main part of the lesson, what was the story of Michael Faraday, we have done last time. So this time what is remaining is we will look at meanings of certain phrases and words, and we will look at a grammar point which is there in the textbook. That is, we will talk about subject and predicate. We will see what subject is, what predicate is, and we will look at certain examples of subject and predicate, and also we will try and do a small exercise based on subject and predicate. Okay, so that is what those are the interesting things that we are going to do today. So let us start by seeing the meanings of certain words and phrases. Okay, so let us start with the first phrase in our textbook. So completely hooked. So this is one particular phrase in the textbook. So what is the meaning of being completely hooked over here? Now any phrase when you pick up, children, any meaning word that you pick up, you can give it different meanings according to the context in which it is used. Okay, so here we are looking at the meanings of these words or these phrases according to the context that they are used in this particular lesson in the textbook. Okay, so here completely hooked means what? Completely hooked means to be very interested and enthusiastic about something. So, for example, suppose some of you are completely hooked to playing games on the mobile phone. Not only children, even adults. There are so many games on this mobile phone that once you start playing it, then you get completely hooked. That means you are not able to stop doing that thing. Okay, so to get completely hooked means to be very interested and very enthusiastic about something. Let us look at an example sentence here. He is hooked on to cricket. Okay, so hooked on to cricket here means he loves to watch cricket, to play cricket, etc. Now I took this particular picture to show you what cricket is, because here there is one more interesting concept in English. Alright, now since we are talking about words, since we are talking about vocabulary, from this picture we can go to a very interesting concept in English, that is the concept of homonyms. Alright, how come we can associate this picture with the concept of homonyms? Because here you can see that a cricket is playing cricket. So was it amusing? So what is a cricket playing cricket? That means the insect that you can see over here with a cap, or with a, you can say, the thing which they wear to cover their head. Alright, that insect is called a cricket. And what is a cricket doing? It is playing cricket, which is a game. So here you will see there are two words. Cricket, which is the insect, spelling is C-R-I-C-K-E-T. And cricket, which is the game, the spelling is still C-R-I-C-K-E-T. So two words which are said in the same way, which are written in the same way, that is they have the same spelling, but the meanings are totally different. So such words are called as homonyms. So I thought I will take this opportunity to introduce this language point or this vocabulary point into the lesson here. After this image, I will be also showing you some more examples of homonyms. Okay, so let us do some interesting things like this also as we go along in the lesson. Let us look at the other word or phrase on this page. So this is lifelong fascination. Now the meaning of this phrase is somewhat close to the meaning of the first phrase. But when you say completely hooked, it means you're interested and enthusiastic about something. Maybe for the time being, maybe for just now, maybe tomorrow you will not be interested in it anymore. But lifelong fascination will mean the state of being greatly interested in something. So it is a state, so it will continue for a long period of time. Okay, lifelong fascination. So see, what is the example sentence? I have had a lifelong fascination with learning new languages. So can you learn new languages in one day or in a period of 2 days? You can't. So it has to go on for a long period of time, isn't it? So the meaning of these two phrases are similar, you can say, but they're not the same. And what is the difference? I just told you. Alright. So these are two phrases in your textbook. Let us move on and let us look at some more words and phrases. But before that, I told you we will discuss some more examples of homonyms. So as you go along the way, this idea is also clear to you. So see here, we have 4 examples of homonyms here. Let us take them one by one. So the first is B-A-T, bat. Now B-A-T, bat could mean a bird or a mammal, okay, which hangs upside down on trees and which is nocturnal, that is, it comes out only during the night time.
Or it could be a sports equipment, a bat. Now this is a baseball bat. Okay, you must have seen cricket bats, you must have seen hockey sticks. All right, so one bat is a bat which is a living thing, and the other bat is a bat which is a sports equipment. Okay, something which you use in order to play a particular game or sport. Let us go to example number 2. So you have a seal. Now what is a seal? A seal is an animal which can stay in water, and for some time it can stay on land also. All right, if you have seen these things on Discovery Channel about the North Pole, etc., about Antarctica, there they will show you what a seal is. A seal is a huge animal which lives in water. Look at the other seal. So when you have to go to someone's wedding, or when you have to go to attend someone's birthday party, you put some cash in a cover, isn't it, to give as a gift. And what do? You seal the envelope. That is, you paste the envelope shut using some kind of gum or some kind of resin, or sometimes even cooked rice. Okay, so here one seal is a noun, that is, it is an animal, and the other seal means the method or the way or the action of sealing or of closing an envelope or anything else. Come to the third example, we have palm, P-A-L-M, palm. Now as the image is very clear to you, one palm is the palm tree. So you have the coconut palm, you have the arecanut palm, okay, you have the date palm, and the other palm is the part of your hand, the palm of your hand, which you use in a multiple number of ways, isn't it? Now come to the last example here, iron. So iron is an electrical equipment in which you use in order to press your clothes, and the other iron here means a piece of metal. So children, when we were learning the meaning of a phrase, we came across this particular concept of homonyms, and now I've tried to show you what homonyms are. Now when you understand the examples, there is no need for you to remember the definition word by word. Okay, it is important for you to know what something is and use it properly in your day-to-day life. Alright, so in language learning, like you do in maths or in science, there is no need for you to by heart things. Okay, you should just know how to use it in your daily life. So that was about homonyms. Let us move on and let us talk about some more words or phrases. So you have this word spellbound. Spellbound. It is a compound word made up of two words, spell and bound. So let's see what is the meaning of spellbound. Hold the complete attention of someone as though by magic. As though by magic, not by magic. Okay, it has got nothing to do with magic. But when you're spellbound means, you will see small children when they go to watch a superhero movie, like for example a movie called like Spider-Man or Krish, you will see that they sit and look at the screen with their mouth open and they are not aware of what is happening around them. That is the meaning of spellbound. So complete attention, if you're holding someone's complete attention and it looks as if you have done some kind of magic on that person, it means you have made that person spellbound. Okay, so see, this is one expression which you can use for spellbound. All right, and you can think also of the situation I told you, where a child who is maybe 8 years or 9 years old is sitting and watching a Spider-Man or a Superman or a Batman movie. Okay, come on, let's go on and see the next word. So applaud. So what does applaud mean? Applaud means approve or praise someone by clapping. Okay, now there are many ways in order to praise someone. So you can also say with your mouth, wow, very good, you did a very good job. So that is praising. Okay, you can also give someone, like for example your teacher gives you stars in your notebook. isn't it? So that is approval, or your teacher is praising you in one way or the other. Applaud also means to praise, but here how do you praise a person? By clapping for that person. So when you clap for someone and you praise that person, that is called as applaud. You must have heard the word applause when you watch different kind of shows on TV. So the host says, let's give a big round of applause to Preeti for singing so well. Okay, so Preeti is in a singing competition and she has sung very well. So the host is asking everyone to praise her. And how will we praise her? By clapping. So that is called as applauding. Okay, so this was the next set of words for you. Now children, let us look at the next two words here. So this is relentless. So what is the meaning of relentless? Relentless means to be persistent. Now, okay, so what is the meaning of persistent now? Persistent means to keep on doing something or the other, or to keep on doing something without getting tired. So what work will you keep on doing without getting tired, which is important for you, but it might be difficult also. Okay, something which you like to do very happily. For example, you like to watch TV. So you will do it happily. There is no need for you to be relentless while watching TV. Okay, so this is something which you have to do, but it is difficult also. But since you have to do it, you're going on doing it without getting discouraged. I will show you a very, you can say, image which I felt will describe relentless very nicely, and that is this image. So have you seen this happening around your home sometimes? So they are ants carrying away food. I think it's a piece of bread. Now look at the size of the ant and look at the size of the food particle that they are carrying. So don't you think the ants are relentless? So will they give up and say, no Baba, this is very big for us, we can't do it? They will not. They will persist and they will carry this food particle into their homes or into their ant hill. Okay, so this is the meaning of relentless. Let us look at one more word here. Frustrated. What is the meaning of frustrated now? Sometimes there are certain subjects in school which you are not very fond of. Okay, for example, someone like me, I was not very fond of mathematics when I was in school. I used to not understand mathematics. So what I used to get upset about, when I couldn't get the answer to a problem, and I was working hard also on it, but I couldn't, I used to get frustrated. So frustrated means I used to feel distress. I used to get very worried. Okay, so either I feel worried or I express my worry by showing some kind of action. So see here, this kind of frustration, many of us, we do it at home. We do it especially with the TV remote. You all must have seen. Most of us have done this. When our remote doesn't work, we do not think about changing the battery of the remote, but we keep knocking the remote in frustration. All right. So frustrated means to feel distressed, to feel angry, to feel annoyed because something is not happening according to your choice. Okay, so this man is frustrated because his computer has stopped working. What should he do? He should go and show it to a mechanic or to a technician. But what is he doing? He is banging his computer. It is not going to solve his problem. It is going to make him more frustrated or more distressed. Okay, children? So these were certain phrases or certain words which we saw from the textbook. Now, before we go to the next part of this lesson, let me tell you there are many such words in the lesson which I have not picked up. Okay, I have done 6 words for you. So this is your assignment. Try to pick up at least 6 more words or phrases from this particular lesson, Great Scientists, and go to the internet or try to open your dictionary and try to find out the meaning of all these words. Alright, so that was your assignment. Now let us move on, and like I told you, we have a grammar point also to study in this lesson, and that is language study. Okay, this is question number 5 in your textbook in this particular lesson, that is language study. And what is the point of grammar to be done here? It is subject and predicate. So first let us try to understand the meaning of subject, the meaning of predicate, and then we will go on and see many examples. Alright, so come on, let's see what a subject is. So according to the sentence in your textbook, or according to the meaning in your textbook, a word or a phrase in a sentence that shows who or what does the action is the subject. So there are certain words which are important and they bring out the meaning of this concept of subject that I have marked it in red for you. So the subject can be a word or it can be a phrase. A phrase means a group of words and it is part of the sentence. Okay. Now the subject points out to who or what. Who means person and what means thing. And when there is an action, so who does the action or what does the action? Now that person or that thing or that animal which does the action is the subject in a sentence. Okay, now it still might be sounding a little confusing to you. Let us see examples which will make the idea clear to you. Let us understand what predicate is now. So what is predicate? So predicate is the part of a sentence that tells us something about the subject. You can also say that predicate is that part of the sentence which contains the verb. So if you have not understood what I have said in this part, let us move on and understand it better using some examples. So once again, let us try and understand subject and predicate separately with the same example. So what is a subject? A subject is the person or thing that is doing an action. Okay, so the subject is a person. It can be a person, a human being, or it could be a thing. Remember, it could also be an animal, all right, which is doing the action. All right, so there is some action which is happening and the person or the animal or the thing which is doing the action could be the subject. Or else it is also the person or thing that is the focus of the sentence. So what is the main idea in the sentence? What is the main focus of the sentence? That is the subject in a sentence. Okay. Now, like I said, definitions could sometimes be confusing. Examples are understood more easily. So let us take an example here. The lion roared at the goat. So here, what is happening here in the sentence? This is happening. The lion roared at the goat. Okay. So what action is happening here? What is the action which is happening? It is the roaring of the lion which is happening. So roaring is the action here, or roared is the action here, isn't it? And who is roaring? Who is the person who is doing this action? Who is roaring? It is the lion. Therefore, the lion is the subject in this particular sentence. I think now the idea must be clear to you that a subject is a person or a thing which is doing the action, or it is a person or the thing about which the sentence wants to speak. So it is the focus of the sentence. All right. Like I told you, we will take the same example to understand what predicate is. So let's go there. So what is a predicate? The predicate of the sentence is the part that contains the action. Okay. So it is the part which tells us what the subject is doing, or it tells us more about the subject. It gives us information about the subject. For example, see here the same example again. The lion roared at the goat. So what is happening again? The same thing is happening. The lion is roaring at the goat. What is the action? The action of roaring. So what is the predicate? Roared at the goat is the predicate. So the lion is the subject and roared at the goat is the predicate. Okay? So hope this simple example clears this idea for you as to what is the meaning of a subject and what is the meaning of a predicate. So what is the difference between a subject and a predicate? So the subject is the who or the whom, whereas the predicate is the action which is done. Very simple. Alright, let us move on and see some examples. So all the subjects are written in green and all the predicates are written in red. I will also mark it for you as I read it. Okay, so Mr. Smith took a walk. So Mr. Smith is the person. What did he do? He took a walk. So Mr. Smith is the subject and took a walk is the predicate. The dentist pulled out a tooth. Who pulled out the tooth? The dentist. What did the dentist do? He pulled out a tooth. So the dentist is the subject and pulled out a tooth is the predicate. The pig with the big snout slobbered on a kid. That means it attacked a kid. So the pig with a big snout is the subject. Slobbered on a kid is the predicate because it is the pig who did the work or action of slobbering on a kid. So these are some more examples for you. So hope the idea is clear. If not, there are some more examples coming your way. So see, the big green frog. So this particular sentence is about the big green frog. So this big green frog is the subject. Now what will be the predicate? What this big green frog did? He jumped across the log. So that is the predicate. So the big green frog jumped across the log. In that the big green frog is a subject and jumped across a log is the predicate. Now the next sentence is about my sweet grandmother. Okay, so who? My sweet grandmother. Therefore it is the subject. And what about the grandmother? Wore a blue dress. So wore a blue dress is the predicate. Okay. Now the next sentence is about this particular thing. So it is the subject, the old shack. Now a shack, children, is not exactly a house, but it is a kind of a shelter. You must have seen these shacks on beaches where they serve you food, etc. Okay. So a shack is not exactly a place where you can live. So you cannot call it a house or a hut. Alright. So the old shack. Now what happened to the old shack? So the old shack is the subject. It is the focus of the sentence. What happened to it? It blew over in the wind. So something happened to the old shack. What happened was it blew over in the wind. So that is the predicate. The last sentence is about the dog. So the dog is the subject. My dog Barney is the subject. What happened to him? He barked at the cat. So he did the action of barking at the cat. So that is the predicate. Okay, children. So I think we have had enough example sentences on subject and predicate now. Let us move on and do an exercise based on subject and predicate. Now children, whenever I bring up an exercise like this, I always tell you that at this point you should pause your video and you should try to solve this exercise on your own and then play the video again and check whether your answer matches with mine. So come on, there are 5 sentences and I will give you some time to solve and underline the subject with red and predicate with blue and then come back and check the answers that I will give you. Okay, so let's check up what the answers are. So the first sentence is the horse likes to eat hay. So the horse is the subject and of course likes to eat hay is the predicate. So hope you got this one right. Then you have the students studied hard for the test. So the students who studied hard, the students, what did the students do? They studied hard for the test. So that is the predicate. My mom loves me very much. Who loves you very much? My mom. What does my mom do? Loves me very much. So my mom is the subject and loves me very much is a predicate. Look at the next sentence. Here there is a chance that you might make a mistake. My dad's cell phone has a funny ring. So this sentence is not about my dad, but it is about my dad's cell phone. Therefore, my dad's cell phone is the subject. I've underlined it with red. And has a funny ring is the predicate. The bee drank the nectar from the flower. So the bee is the subject. Drank the nectar from the flower is the predicate. Okay, children? So here we talked about certain words and phrases, and we also looked at what subject and predicate is. Now let us check whether we have done what is expected to be done according to the textbook. So see, this is point 5 of the exercise on English workshop in your textbook, where they have asked us to study about the subject and predicate, which we just did. But even then, let us go back and check what we did. So a word or a phrase in a sentence that shows who or what does the action is the subject, isn't it? We just saw it now, and they're giving us examples also, see, of a subject in the following sentences. The underlined part is the subject. So what is underlined? The baby is laughing, so the baby is underlined. The glass fell from the table, so the glass is underlined. These are examples of subject. Whereas what is the predicate they're saying? The predicate is a part of a sentence that tells us something about the subject. So we also learned the same thing. We just said that the predicate is a part which contains the action, okay, or it is part which shows the verb. So look at the same example again. The baby is laughing. So what is the baby doing? What is the action? The baby is laughing. So is laughing is a predicate. The glass fell from the table. What happened to the glass? The glass fell from the table. So that is the predicate. Alright, children. So that means we have done what was expected for us to do in this part of the lesson. So this was part 2 of the lesson Great Scientists, where we looked at various phrases, and we looked at homonyms also as a part of the vocabulary exercise, and we looked at language study, subject and predicate.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learnt a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.